ease up off you until you actually file a piece of litigation. Well, first of all, you have to exhaust with them, raise the issue with them. Like, hey, listen, with regards to how this is being applied, this is a situation where you guys as a local office acting under this administration, they're a donee, right? However, you guys are acting as a debt collector on behalf of the donee, because the donee has people in contract to give and people who voluntarily give, right? Because remember, entities can't do self-assessment. It's a mandatory assessment. There is no self-assessment if you're an entity. There's no you, so you can't self-assess. Only human beings can self-assess. So human beings are volunteers, whereas though all fictitious entities, it's basically obligatory, and they aren't donors. They're donors, but it's donor by contract. They're paying back a tithe for the right to do business protected by the laws of the United States. Because remember, the United States is the only reason they can do business here. Any company. If the United States did away with it under contract, we would have to come under international commercial law and rely on international courts. But at any rate, you got to bring up that issue of the fact that they're using the ambiguity of labeling you generally as a taxpayer, and the local office doesn't make a distinction between obligatory donors and donors. They treat everybody as obligatory. You aren't under a compulsory contract to give. You aren't under a compulsory contract to explain why you don't want to give. What they do is by not being given the ability to distinguish, they're going back and they're writing out a complaint that's allowing the home office to perceive you as an obligatory donor who's refusing to adhere to their obligation, and they proceed under that presumption. But if you clarify up front, like, hey, you guys must have me in your roles wrong. The parent company is a donee. You guys are acting as a debt collector. But what you're doing is you're using your local policy to translate their national policy into a situation where I can be treated as an obligatory donor when anything with me is self-assessment and therefore voluntary. I'm a true donor. You can't make me donate anything.
And it's an involuntary conversion of income into donation.
Do you see what I was talking about when I was saying I can't really participate really heavily in the IRS forms conversation, because I don't even see why there's all this reporting going on, or where the belief came from of all of this going to the IRS to fix your problem situation. You know what I mean? Like the fact of a person thinking that that's the process is part of the problem.